Tonight on Talking Town, we've got Walton signing. We've got Morsey and Evans. The debate from Monday continued. Loans to permanent. Who's been the best? Who's been the worst? And of course, Accrington Stanley. So recharge those glasses. Get a comfy chair. It's Talking
Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and yes, welcome to Wednesday. It's hump day. We are nearly at the end of the hump day. The weekend, it's in sight. I can see it. It's on the horizon. It's like the former Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to tonight's show. Got Christian Walton discussion finally announced. He is joined on a permanent deal. We'll get into that. We've got Sam Morsey, Lee Evans. We'll continue that conversation that the Fishermen, George and Ben were having on Monday's show. Is that the right partnership to take us forward? Or would you rather see a central midfield player now Christian Walton signed come in? The curtains have gone, says Ada. Yes, they have. The Gov is back in the spare room with the underwear drying over there. It's an exciting time. It's nice being back. Also, because it's obviously the place where we do dry our washing. It's like a bloody sauna in here. It's absolutely beautiful. I walk out of here and it's like going from the Mediterranean to the Antarctic. The rest of the house is such like an ice block. But anyway, Prediction League week 21 is in play. Use the link. Get involved. It's free entry. It takes 60 seconds. You could win a prize or two along the way. We've got Ipswich versus Accrington Stanley. Salford versus managerless Colchester. Now, following tonight's news that Hayden Mullins has been removed, I believe, as manager. Then you've got Watford versus England's worst team in the history of football. That is a Friday night. Do beware. And of course, Cambridge won again last night. Jack Lancaster. Remember him? Of course you do. Scored a worldie against Blackburn. Curled it in the bottom corner. Playing quite well by all accounts. So, what have we been up to this week so far? Talking cricket. If you're a big cricket fan, and I know there's a few of you out there, talking cricket last night. They went on longer than England's batsmen have done the whole of the Ashes, nearly 2 hours. I won't tell you how many times Mrs. L said, "Are they finished yet?" She said it quite a bit, but it was really, really good conversation. So if you're a cricket fan and you've not yet seen it, then please do go and check it out. And of course, before I get into the chat, you can become a Fifth Stand TT Ultra through our Ko-Fi. These are the wonderful guys and girls that support us monthly or with a new one-off contribution. Head to the link, get involved. Without these people's support, we can't make this fantastic content. It's just not possible. It truly isn't. I wish it was, but it wouldn't be. So thank you all so much to these people. And of course, our YouTube members, of which we have a new one today, my friends, Mr. Stephen Davis. Welcome aboard, Mr. Stephen Davis. Thank you ever so much for becoming a YouTube member. So if you do want to support the platform and not go to Ko-Fi, you can do it all from the comfort of YouTube, sitting right there. Thank you very much, Kally. I do aim to please. I appreciate that. Good evening, Cruncher. I hope you're well. If you didn't catch last night talking cricket, check it out. I wonder if he's on it. Possibly. And still, good evening, everyone. Delighted with the Walton deal. Stiggy in the trunk. No, sorry, Stiggy the trunk. I will govern crew. Stiggy in the trunk. Oh, fuck it. Fishy, says Crunchy. Sarah Davis, welcome in. Mike the Fisherman's in the house. Fisherman, let us know how much the Walton deal was. Rumour has it was nowhere near 3 million. And Sarah says the guy's been kicked out of the living room. I absolutely have. Right. Bring our first contributor in. He has made the qualifying appearances for an introduction. He is, of course, the man, the myth, the guy with an absolute epic beard and an epic Twitter handle. He is the one, the only,
Alex. Alex, you've got
Hello,
an
mate.
introduction.
Yes,
and
I really love that.
You've got an epic Twitter handle at Lionel Van Rock.
Yep. Yeah, it changed for a day, literally. And then I bought it back when you were not happy with me for changing it.
I was like, nah, you don't change gold, mate. You know, you don't change gold for silver. Like, come on, let's be real here. That is a quality Twitter handle. It makes me laugh every time I think about it. In fact, the other day I even asked you what it was just so you could tell me it again so I could laugh. It's brilliant. Where did you get the inspiration to come up with Lionel Von Rock?
It was like when I was younger and I had more hair. My friends always used to say like a white Lionel Richie, so that's where that came from. And then a couple of my mates played in a band, so they had say alter egos that weren't their surname. And me wanting to be in the crew because I used to DJ occasionally in the pub we used to drink in. Thought I'd drop in the Von Rock, and then it just kind of stuck, you know, because it was when I joined Twitter, it was back in the year of when I was doing that sort of thing. So.
Absolutely, I just love it where interesting names like that come from. And Sarah says, "Yay, Alex has an intro. We love that." AD says, "Had a great cod talent chips for tea, not a fish cake in sight." Do you know what I had pollock for tea, as my dad used to call it, poor man's cod. But I enjoyed it actually. You ever had pollock?
I'm not a fish fan myself. I'm with Ben Moore on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it takes an acquired taste. Jason Clayton, Ashton and Crab done an excellent bit of business in Walton and Bond loan, left wing back, please. Alex, before we bring in obviously the king, you got to have pomp and ceremony when the king enters the chat. But I want to talk to you very quickly about a non-Ipswich Town item. Fulham, they can't stop scoring, right? They're projected to finish something like 120 goals.
Yeah,
they've scored 20 in their last 4. Have you ever seen anything like it from a Town team or any other team? Because
I don't think I have. I was thinking about this when you asked me earlier. I certainly can't remember a team as free scoring as that. The only
20 goals in 4 games.
Madness, isn't it?
They scored 20 in a month.
Even like the team like the Invincibles and like the good Man United teams from the years gone by, you don't ever like remember any of them being as free scoring. You know, the only time I remember us being anywhere near a free scoring side was that year we went up from the first division and probably the first year in the Prem. Other than that, we've not really, you know, because we've not really had proven goal scorers since like the Bench and Coochie days. I think we've just had so many years of just dealing with whatever striker we can get our hand on that we've not had the opportunity to do scoring.
Talking of, you know, goal scorers, obviously today we had Jermaine Defoe linked. Now that's been rubbished a little bit since that came out, but for content purposes, and we live in a fantasy world sometimes, if that deal was miraculously back on this time tomorrow, would you fancy Jermaine Defoe in a Town shirt?
Not as just a player. The only way that it would be a doable deal for me, I think, because I think being whether he's 36, 37 now, you know, we're not getting the Jermaine Defoe of yesteryear. The only way that I would maybe want to see that working if he was coming in on a player coach sort of situation as an attacking coach possibly, and then he was sort of on the bench. You know, I don't think now we've got Norwood fit again. I don't think he's possibly Jermaine Defoe at this age isn't necessarily that much of an upgrade on what we already have.
Spot on. I love it. Yeah. Well, I might ask the king when he comes in. I might not, because that's, you know, is he an upgrade on what we have? Probably not at 38/39. You know, I've not seen him play recently, so I couldn't tell you about, you know, how mobile, etc. he is. But for a player who I always used to think relied on speed, and it goes against the Ashton grain a little bit, doesn't it? In terms of what
it does, and we've talked about player trading and resale value.
Well,
there
isn't any.
there's nothing there. The role that I would want to sort of, you know, see him do, you know, bring it into a computer game analogy, and you'll know this, the FM22 sort of, you know, mentor group possibly having fulfilled that
hierarchy. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Crunch says new Top Gov. Yeah, do you like it, Crunch? I'm trialing them. It's a trial. Let us know what you think in the chat. Do you like it? It's got 78 on the back. ML. Look at that.
Beautiful piece. What else we got? Might Defoe be able to give our strikers some lessons? And then Cruncher says Cook would employ Defoe as a defensive coach. Rob Holmes, no, the wage would demand it be better spent elsewhere. And Cruncher, no brainer. He'll end up at Sunderland. Right, here he is. We have done it. We have built it up. He is, of course, your king. Be upstanding for your king, Kally. Here's luck.
Man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Just butt me, I'm ready.
Kally, there he is.
How are we doing, lads? We all right?
Hello, mate.
We are very well, thank
We
you.
all
How are
right?
you? How are you?
I'm good. And Defoe's 39, coming 40 this
Is
year.
it?
Yeah.
39. God.
Um,
Do you know what?
if we
You
did,
know- Go on.
if we didn't have Norwood in a Rich Vayner form, and we were just left with Bon and Piggott, then yeah, he's worth taking a punt on, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I agree.
unless Norwood leaves this transfer window, which I think is now going to happen towards the end of the season rather than January.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. It's just a waste because you can't keep Jermaine Defoe on the bench.
No,
You know?
absolutely.
And I know what you're saying about with the pace, but over the last couple of last couple of years when he's been up at Rangers, he's been all right. He ain't had the pace, but he's got the.
That's Scottish, isn't it? But you mentioned pace. Let's just pause it for a moment. Have you stopped crying buckets yet? Because obviously, we've not had you on the platform since
You dickheads.
your soulmate and best mate, Sosa and Ciala, has.
Listen. I was absolutely delighted when he got his move. He wanted to go in. He wanted to go in the summer. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits that he's gone there. He's on his debut. He comes on at half time. Gets man of the match performance.
Yeah,
Sets up the goal that beats the top of the league team that we didn't able to do.
absolutely.
He's a confidence player, so he's happy where he is. He's back towards home. He lives in Liverpool, so it's not too far away from Fleetwood. So no, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy for him. So no, I'm not rising to Crunch's comments because we can go back and forth on a lot of things, me and Mr. Cruncher.
Oh,
but,
absolutely. You could. I guess the only question is, have you got your Fleetwood half syndicate yet?
I've actually getting a Fleetwood and a Sunderland one now as well. So because my cousin Danny's now signed for Sunderland, Danny Bath from Stoke.
Okay.
So despite constant pestering over the last 6, 7, 8 years to try and get him to come down to town, he's decided he'd rather go northeast than Suffolk. So I don't know what to say.
Perhaps not this year, but normally a bad move. Matt, now I've seen Norman Jackson has been sampling the notes at Tim Hortons. Yeah, we've got a new Tim Hortons down here.
I was just about to say that. Oh my God, that Ipswich now has two good things: Ipswich Town Football Club and Tim Hortons. It's fucking
Is it that
brilliant.
good? I've never actually been.
Yeah, it's a big Canadian thing. So when I went Canada many years ago, every year we end up going. You end up going Canada, go Tim Hortons. Then they opened about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. They opened one up in Birmingham City Centre. So that's been brilliant. They've got one in Manchester. I think they've got one in Scotland somewhere, probably Glasgow, and now Ipswich. And the beautiful part about this is it's on my route into Ipswich. So I'll just be.
You go down
I'll
the
be
North
making.
Road?
Yeah. I'll get off at the A14 by there down
You
Angier
must
Park.
leave about 4 days before you need to get to the ground. That's a terrible route.
I leave Cov about 11, and
Well-
I get parked up for about 1:15, 1.
Well, you mentioned that Ipswich now has Tim Hortons. I'll tell you something else that Ipswich has, and that is a permanent goalkeeper in Christian Walton. I do have his welcome interview with the club. I will play not 9 minutes and 38 seconds of it because that would be ridiculous. I'll play a few minutes and then we'll get into a conversation, Kally and Alex, about this new signing.
Sitting down to talk with us, you've now committed your future permanently to Ipswich Town. How do you feel?
I'm absolutely delighted. Obviously, it's been a longer process with me getting recalled last week at Brighton, and then spending another week training and
got some new gear in
game on Saturday. In my mind, I wanted to be a permanent Ipswich Town player for that period of time. Obviously, it wasn't to be, and then to get the deal over the line in the last few days has been magnificent. And full credit to the club; they've done everything they can to get it done as quick as possible. So I'm ready for the remainder of the season.
Good man, there he is, ready for the remainder of the season. The club have got it over the line. I've had people in my DMs last couple of days. What's going on? Is he going to sign? Is it going to Pete Tong? And I'm like, I don't know. but he's finally here, Kally, because it went quiet for a while.
I just think that was just dotting the I's, crossing the T's stuff. And from what I understand, the fee we've paid, Mike Brown's 3 million was way off it.
How much? What is your understanding of the situation?
I believe it's about 150.
£150,000.
That's what I believe.
This is like Bruce's Price is Right. Alex, will you go higher than or lower than Kally's £150,000? Bear in mind, Mike at the start of the show has gone for 3 million.
To be fair, that was, I'd say Kally's pretty much bang on there, because I saw the same article that Ben saw on Monday night with the virtual football, and that was the figure that they banded about. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's an absolutely nominal fee to get him in, and I think it's an absolute steal. I think it's a great bit of business. I can't remember what game it was after, but I came on and said, I would, on the basis of that, I take him and go out in January and get him, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, and remember, like, valuation of your players down to a lot of things, and one of the things like transfer market as an example, that has valuation on players. When January approached and we were looking, and I know Martin's been asking the question on a couple of shows about what we pay for Walton, they valued him at about $750,000, so 750,000.
Wow.
But that doesn't necessarily take into consideration that there's only 6 months left on his deal, and then also the demand for him. So there wasn't. I know Luton were sniffing around, but I think it was only really us and Luton that were in for him. I don't think there was anyone really that was prepared to pay the fee or whatever, even though it was 150k or whatever. I don't think anyone else was really prepared to do that, and I think Brighton just wanted to get him off their books as well. And it's one of those, you look after him, I guess. He's been a long servant for them, so I guess they've said, look, we're not going to play hardball, we'll get what we need from there, really.
It's interesting though, isn't it, Alex, that he's 26, I believe. At 26, sort of entering a good point of his footballing career.
Mm-hmm.
150,000 is a fantastic price, but as someone in the chat that says, I think it was Chris Boyd says, not about the fees, but it's the wages, highest paid keeper in League One. He possibly could be now. But are you surprised nobody else other than Luton were interested in a goalkeeper that is 26? Good age.
But then what I maybe think, possibly, because it came out, I can't remember, I think it might be TWTD on their article, said that he'd worked with Rennie Gilmartin before, when he was at Plymouth, before he went to so I think that has possibly played a part in it, and it wouldn't surprise me whether he'd maybe said to Brighton, look, I want to go to it because of Rennie Gilmartin and the setup that they've got. So it wouldn't surprise me whether Brighton maybe got some more inquiries, but sort of those got shot down, because Kally said about doing right by their player. If he'd expressed that it was us he wanted to come to, maybe those other suits just didn't come out, because he had his heart set on coming here, and it was just a case of getting it over the line for me.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the club has the power. The club has the power, right? So we've had the power when we've sold players that there may be players there may be clubs that are competing with us for that top 6 spot that have wanted some of our players in the past, and we've said no. We want to send them to non-rival, so to speak. Brighton, we're not going to be a rival for them for probably 2 years, hopefully, right? We'll be playing them in the next 2 years. That'll be good, because I'll stay in the Premier League and we'll be straight up there, back to back. Like Michael Jordan did with the Bulls in 94, 95, 96 or whatever, right? And then we'll have a what's it called? We'll have Mark Ashton in 20 years' time doing a Last Dance Netflix documentary with a big fuck off cigar in his mouth. But no, it's I think Alex touched on something really important there about he's still a young keeper, like he's 26, right? So he's still got a lot to develop as a player. So having the people around him that he trusts, like the coach, that makes a hell of a difference. It's got to make a difference. You saw how close Bart was to was it Malcolm Webster.
Yeah, Malcolm Webster. Yeah.
He was very close with him. These are. I mean, we're not footballers, right? We're not professional footballers, but you've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 coaches teaching, training 20 odd people, and then you've got one coach training 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more one-to-one, a lot more. You build probably better relationships. I don't know.
Specialised position, isn't it? That's it's a specialised position.
And coming back to what you're saying in terms of why was it only us and Luton? I think more and more clubs take this kind of Ashton approach with this dashboard and stats and stuff like that. Now, Ipswich fans will tell you Walton's a bloody good goalkeeper. We've seen him. Statistically, he let 5 in on his debut. He hasn't kept.
Yeah, good point.
I don't think he's kept. I think Cladke's kept more clean sheets. So he may have been let down by the team, as an example. What stats don't show you is the wonderful saves he makes. When he tips it round a post at Bolton. I mean, okay, we lost at Bolton the other week, but could have been 2-0 at half time.
But
yeah.
Do you think, King, that it's also a bit of luck for once that's fallen in Town's favour, in the sense of normally in January you've got your goalkeeping situation. Most teams have got their goalkeeping situations already sorted out, and any goalkeeping changes normally happen in the summer. So maybe in the summer, had this been the summer, there would have been a few more suitors. Do you feel, particularly out of contracts? Do you feel it happening now is also why it's a relatively incredible deal? 150,000 is insane in today's market.
Yeah, just spot on there, because it's January, like you said, everyone's going to have their squads ready. It's particularly a goalkeeper position, which is a pivot, a strong position that and something that's needed. Now, who can compete with us? So money plays a part. No one wants to.
Isn't it?
No one works for free, right?
No,
money plays a part. Simple as, right? But Luton's wages wouldn't have been much lower than I imagine what we're offering. But he's been here, like Alex says, he knows the coaching here. He's bought into the idea that we can build something. And if I put my bias aside, and obviously we're massive Ipswich Town fans, but if I put my bias aside and I looked at the two clubs between Ipswich and Luton, you'd say we're going to pass them in the next couple of years anyway. That they are surviving in the Championship.
Matt
we will go
Phillips
up and
certainly
thrive.
agrees with that. Yeah,
we'll thrive in the Championship. Like when we go up, right? When we go up, we'll finish top 10 first season, right? Top 10, maybe even top 6, right? We will do that. I'm telling you. We won't be worried about, okay, we need to finish,
we'll clip
the
that.
relegation zone. Clip it. Let's clip it. What was it? 22 minutes, right? Kally says, when we go up in our Championship season, we will finish top 10. May even be next season.
We need a likes title for tonight's show. Do you think we should go for 150 off?
I think so. I think so.
150K,
150 likes. I like the sound of that. 150 likes.
All right. So if you're watching this show either live or on catch up on YouTube, there's 110 of you on YouTube right now. That's near enough. The target just smashed just for pressing one little button, the like button. So click it. So this is a loan deal going to a permanent deal. Something that Town have done throughout.
Doesn't it scare you a little though? Because
it does.
Well, it does.
Like, I automatically think Jimmy Bullard.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, and there's been some really good highs and really bad lows. And I was looking at some of the lists today. You got Jim Magilton, Martin Roycer, Jimmy Bullard, Jamie Clapham, Darryl Murphy had about 18 different loan spells. I mean, I'm exaggerating that number, but it was certainly a high number of loan spells. Emmy Hughes, John Stead, Chris Bart Williams. I mean,
Chris Bart Williams.
The list, and that's just players that I believe that have come on loan and signed. So it does scare me a little bit because of a few names there. Alex, does it startle you? Have you still got the scars of the past?
No, I was going to go the other way actually, and say the fact we've got this deal over the line, just shows I think how much progress of the club we've made in terms of the infrastructure we have, because in years gone by in the Evans era, it would have been we'll have
sorry,
to end...
fuck off, Crunch. Sorry, carry on.
In years gone by, it would have worked the other way. It would have been we'll see if we can get him at the end of the year. Then there would have been no money in the coppers. Then he would have gone to Luton, and with that, we would have got we would have been left with the equivalent of whoever, like the worst keeper at that point. So, the fact that we've been able to go out and do this is really encouraging for me. And also looking at we've talked about the finance side of things, highest paid keeper in League One. But if you tie that with his age and you say, potentially we are paying out on wages, but at 26, he could be our first choice keeper for the next,
Yeah.
5, 10. So if you look at it over time, then that's a good thing. And another thing that I find quite reassuring is I've got no issue when we go up Walton being our championship keeper because he's proven at championship level. So it's sort of like that's one less position we have to then go right. We need to replace that with a higher quality player because it's already there. So for me, I'm really and even that list. Yeah, everyone goes to Jimmy Bullard just being a pony when he finally came back. But you look at like your Royces, your Claphams, your Magiltons. I would say we've actually had more success than failure out of that.
Mm.
Looking at it that way, so
who's your favourite loan to permanent then, Alex?
Rusa.
Why Rusa? Why is Rusa your favourite permanent loan to permanent deal?
Because he was the one that scored that very. It just. I'm gonna be biased here because the sort of relationship that Kally had with Toto is the sort of relationship that I had with with Martin back in the day. We literally, the first time we sort of interacted with, he came and when we had the one disabled section, which was Lower Britannia, he literally came and jumped over that at the top, when we beat Bolton at home. And then literally this was back in the day when you could go and watch players at the training ground. And he'd always be the one to make time and sort of come over and sort of, speak to me personally. And I remember he was the first name I had on the back of an Ipswich shirt, and I was wearing it back in what is now Cineworld. And he came up behind me, put his hand on my shoulder, and goes, "Yeah, but here that lad's quite good." So just he was an amazing player. Some of the things he could do was amazing, but just I'll always treasure that sort of relationship I had with him for those couple of years that he was here. So
that's nice. That's really nice. It's a good story, Alex. I like that. Kally, who's your least favourite? I suppose. Well, no, that would probably be Bullard. So let's go for favourite again. Who's your favourite loan to permanent? Because you've got EJ Norris and Magilton.
Well, yeah, for me it's either Magic or Roycer. Roycer for me, that kind of era, that's my golden era of Ipswich Town. I started following Ipswich in 96, 97. So that Burley's boys is the golden era for me. And this man was a magician. I think of Fulham free kicks. Even the goal in the playoff final. It's ingrained into our head. Roycer Premiership. That's ingrained into every Town fans. He's a cult hero, right? But Magic as well. Like what Magilton did for us as a player, as a manager as well. Even when the bed sheets come out, he still got some wins. So as a manager, he was good. As a player, he was just phenomenal. I think him and Matt Holland in that midfield was the best Ipswich midfield I've seen. Right?
With your mate right as well.
I'd have loved to see, obviously, if they're both at the same age and playing, a Sam Morsey and a Magilton together. Like that would have just been phenomenal.
Cruncher says Magilton out. Not a surprise there, is it, Rich? Where is that?
He's done it digitally now, though.
Yeah. I'm going to be different. I'm going to go for, I suppose, Daryl Murphy, just to be different. Gave us arguably one of our best years in the last 10, maybe longer. That was just tremendous. And you made money on it for once. I made a decent wedge on it.
Yeah, we pulled Newcastle's pants down there. I know Murphy did well in that season, but I think overall Murphy was a bit of a flop at Ipswich. Like if you look at how long he was here, he had one decent goal scoring season. And I know some of that was down to
left, though, wasn't he, for a long time? Time
that
wide on the left.
But that's the Mick McCarthy thing, he bought.
Well, that was Paul Jewell. I mean, it was a number of fans. But let's bring in the fisherman. Fisherman, who's your? Before we get into the Walton conversation, who's your favourite sort of loan to permanent or least favourite? Which one sticks out in your mind the most, and what reason?
Well, but what best player that we've ever had loaned, or best player that we've
loan to permanent. I mean, it's a huge list. You've got players like Chris Bart-Williams on it, for crying out loud. It's a long list. John Stead, Emir Hughes, Murphy, Clapham, Bullard, Roycer, Magilton.
Clapham, fuck, was he a loan as well?
Jamie Clapham was, yeah.
Oh no, I'll take it back then. Sorry, Magilton and Roycer quality, but Clapham, yeah.
Do you know what? I love Royce, and I was, a fantastic player. One of my favourites. But one player that sticks out of my mind as a player, I wish we'd have just look, lone player. Yeah, Royce would be one. Clapham would be another. But one player always felt that we should have signed, and that's Sixtel Peralta.
Oh, the
Oh,
one
he
that
was
got away.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him, man. He was quality.
Just a genius for us.
Do you know what? I got over the fact that we didn't sign the other Argentinian dude, Batistuta, back in the day. So we got Sixto Peralta instead.
What could have been if we'd stayed in the Premier League? Eh? That's the really sickening one. Great, yeah. I mean, he's in my time, but a little bit before my memory can really do. Other than he's a good player. I can't remember too many moments about him, unlike probably yourself there, Mike. But
he was just phenomenal. I just enjoyed watching him play football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Another one, George Santos, you know?
George Santos.
Not George Santos.
Giovanni. We didn't sign him. Yes. We didn't buy him, though, did we? We didn't sign him.
No, another player that young lad from Tottenham, Santos, he was another player I'd love to have kept.
But we only had him for like what felt like 3 games or 6 games or whatever, right? We had him for that half season.
Yeah, Peralta for me, I think I'd have loved to have signed him. But I think Rooster or Clapham probably.
What about Marlon Harewood as a loan signing? Prolific in the
reserve.
It
didn't quite work out, did it? Scored loads of goals.
Why
in the reserves,
didn't it work out? Why didn't it work out?
Oh, I don't know. Just probably
stuck in the reserves.
Mike,
Christian Walton, 150,000. That is
not a chance. They haven't paid 150,000 for Walton, and I would lay good money on that as well. Not
the same money you were laying on saying it was 3 million.
Yeah, well, I mean that was just what I was told. That weren't what I said. I was just relaying a message and what I was told. That was what but I reckon it's probably a lot more than that. I reckon it's probably 500,000. They're paid for Walton. I just know Luton, from some Luton fans I know, that they were saying that Luton was going in for 1 million for Walton. So why would Brighton? I mean, the fact it's undisclosed says everything, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? If it was a cheap deal,
the fact it's also been. But hold on. It's also been reported as a nominal fee.
Yeah.
Not undisclosed elsewhere. So undisclosed, I get it. That's the thing. You won't get the actual figure. But it's been reported as a nominal fee is a low 6 figures. That is a nominal fee.
No, if we find out that we're paying 150 million, hey, fucking hell, 150 grand for him, that's a good buy. But at the end of the day is, if we hadn't got him, I wouldn't have been disappointed, because I still think Hladky's got plenty to offer. But we've got 2 goalkeepers now, two good goalkeepers in my opinion. Both have got weaknesses, both have got strengths. People go on about some of the saves
surely that's
made.
But Mike, you say we've got 2 there. Surely it's the end for Hladky. Surely.
Absolutely not. Why are people saying that? That's ridiculous.
Because
has he come to bench warm?
Exactly.
Well, with respect, right? Who would you rather sit on the bench, him or Holy?
It's not who. No. Forget that.
No. Who would you sit on the bench?
It's not about who we want.
Hladky signed a deal here.
Is your name Hladky? Is your name Hladky? No, you're not.
Doesn't matter. Of
course, it matters. If the player, sorry, I have to laugh because you're saying to us, I'm saying, look, Hladky's not come here to sit on the bench, and you're saying, well, you as a fan, who would you prefer? That doesn't matter. If the player wants to be number 1, right? You're telling me he can't. I would be surprised at the end of the season if he's still here. If Walton's going to stay around, we may have signed Walton to sell him on. Who knows?
I mean, look. To be brutally honest, right? A lad, like I said, Walton for me, there's good sides to him and there's bad sides. People go on about these wonderful saves, and in all no disrespects, right? But good goalkeepers should be making them saves. Do you know what I mean? They are bread and butter saves.
Look,
they are. No, I'm not having that. Look at the one at the weekend.
We ain't said anything yet. He
wasn't set. He wasn't set for that.
Take a breath,
at
bro.
all.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
No, he wasn't set for that at all. Right.
Okay. So he made a mistake.
Forward instead of to the side, which is where goalkeepers are supposed to.
Okay. Apart from his debut, right, where he had a makeshift defence, right? I can't think of any mistake he's made that's led to a goal, apart from Bolton on the weekend and the thing, right? So there's that. Secondly, I know what you're saying. Every goalkeeper should be able to shot stop. Yes, but there's some of the types of shot stopping that you're making, which is why there's a difference between a League One goalkeeper and a Premier League goalkeeper, right? It's about your flexibility,
He's not a Premier
your
League
reach.
goalkeeper, is he? He's a League One goalkeeper. Let's be factual, shall we?
Yeah, he is a League One goalkeeper at the moment. Next year, when he's with Ipswich Town, he'll be in the Championship, so he'll be a Championship goalkeeper.
According to some of our fans, we're not going to make the Premiership. We're not going to make the Championship next year.
Did you watch the Charlton game? Because those saves that night were not.
That could have been double figures. That would have been free the Ipswich 9. It would have been Ipswich 10.
I am a critical goalkeeping fan. You know, I'm very critical of goalkeepers. It's notoriously known. I, however, have to say some of the saves that Christian Walton has made have been exceptional. They have been better than your standard. But I want to pick up on the Hladky point. I want to ask you a question. You're Hladky. You're 31 years of age. You were Golden Glove winner last year for Salford, who are a good side in League Two. You see Christian Walton's interview tonight. You see him signing on a permanent. How can you not have a conversation with either the management or your agent and say, maybe we need to think about a move out of here? Because you're 31, Mike. You're not 23. You're not 20. You're not 40. You're a Golden Glove winner last year. Is this the end for Hladky?
I can't even think why people are even thinking that, to be honest.
Forget what, as a fan.
No, I don't understand the negativity around it. I don't understand the negativity around it. Hladky's a good goalkeeper. He's not.
No, we're not disputing that, Mike. Mike, we're not disputing that. And don't get it twisted. If Walton hadn't signed, I wouldn't have been particularly upset, right? I rate him. He's a good goalkeeper, but I think Hladky is more than good enough to be a deputy, right? And he's proven that, right? 100%. I'd quite happily, you know, if it was a case of saying we can only spend the money on securing Bon or Walton, I'd have said secure Bon. You've got Hladky and you've got the 20-foot goalkeeper, Holy, right? So I have no problem with Hladky being a number one. The problem is Hladky is a number one. He doesn't want to sit. I can't.
But so what are you saying then? We get rid of You're saying then?
I'm not saying we. Listen, I'm not saying we. I'm saying he wants to go.
Hladky's going to go to our manager and say, "Do you know what? No, I'm not having this. I want to leave now." Yeah, and we're going to say, "Okay, we leave." So that leaves us what? Holy as our backup keeper. Behave.
As League One backup goalkeeper
goes in the summer, then fine. That's down to Hladky. If he's not happy and he goes in the summer, then that's fine.
Can I ask you a question?
He's not going anywhere right now.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question, right? And think of the last couple of seasons that we've had, because we're Injury Town Football Club. We don't really, and I don't want to tempt fate here, but touch wood, we don't. But we don't really have any injuries to our goalkeepers like that. Not any long-term injuries, right? I know. Listen, I said I didn't want to tempt fate, but I've got to just say this to make the point,
Christian
right?
Walton broken arm incoming.
Do you know what I mean? Which goalkeeper was where the tub of mayo fell on him and he got the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So we've got you've got that. We ain't in no cups, right? We've only got the league games now, 20 odd games.
Yep.
There's not many Tuesday fixtures that we're going to have to fulfill. So there's not going to be. Where is the opportunity for Hladky to play?
There isn't one.
I can't believe. I'm just shocked. You don't get rid of a keeper like Hladky now.
I'm not saying I would. No, listen. I would quite happily.
If he wanted to go, I wouldn't let him go.
I don't think you're understanding.
Absolute stupid move to
Matt
make.
Stannard says we need some super chats in. Don't we? I think they want to make. They want to make you.
Yes, please.
I could give a shit whether super chats come in. All I'm saying is, I know him. I'm saying that's it.
No, Mike, what I'm saying, Mike.
Hang on, Alex. Go on, Alex. Resolve this, because these two, the king and the fisherman.
Right.
I'm not quite sure who's got
It's
who.
always me and Mike. It's always me and Mike.
Always. Alex.
Look, Hladky is a good keeper. He is. I'm not disputing that. We were happy when he came in. But let me pose another question, right? We've all talked about the saves that Walton's made, you know, the fact that he kept in the game at Charlton and various, you know, other saves he made, like the game on Saturday. And Hladky will probably play games for us. Mm-hmm. If you were to say to me, can you tell me a game where Hladky's made an outstanding save? I don't think I can. You know, he's been adequate, but he's not set the world alight.
Lincoln away.
Yeah.
I some great saves that game.
Good memory.
I was working that, so I didn't see it. So, for me, I get what Kally and Martin. It's not a case that we're going to get rid of Haladky, that we want him to go. We don't want him to go. But when you're 31, 32, and you've been a first choice keeper at Salford, he's going to have sort of come in and be like, well, what's next for me? You know, where are my games going to come from? You know, so that'll be the thing. And you know, we're not saying, you know, we're not saying that, you know, we're happy with Holy on the bench, but we probably need to, if Haladky does go, there'll be perfectly adequate keepers that we can get in, that we are prepared to sit on a bench, whether that be, you know,
Holy.
But you know, it's not a case of wanting to get rid of him. No one wants to get rid of him, and let's make that really clear. When no one on this platform is saying that Haladky should go at all.
Absolutely, good point.
I rate Haladky. Like I said, I think he's a decent goalkeeper.
I was happy when he came in. I thought that was.
If we hadn't signed Walton permanently, I'd be sitting here tonight saying, I think Haladky, you know, is good enough to see the season out and see what we've got in him.
If Haladky is a proper professional footballer, he will push Walton to his limits.
Oh, come on. Walton is undisputed number one. Undisputed. You don't pay that money.
You can't say that for certainty. I mean, he was leaked 7 goals against Bolton, for Christ's sake.
Fucking hell, mate.
No. Tell me how it is, lads.
I'm going to tell you something now.
He's also the reason we won 4-1 at Wickham.
Hang on, Mike. The sky is blue. Can we agree on that?
No, it's fucking red. Mine's sky out
now. No, it's not. It's nighttime, mine. So there.
I fucking knew it. Cruncher says, Mike, give that head a wobble.
Oh, Cruncher would say that. He's sitting there being support. He wants to give me a wobble. He's been watching the bloody Ashes for 5 weeks. How crap has that been? He give me crap about my head as a wobble. God dear.
Stephen Parry, no, Mike has a point. I was not long ago. Harry might not be first choice. Mike D is not as good as Mike the Pike Salmon.
No, definitely not.
And Mark Tyson says Keith Brannigan could do a job if Haladky does go. He also says Haladky is a confidence player. Confidence comes with games, but regular football town will come in cup games or injury. But more importantly, he asks, are you going to be knitting yourself a half and half scarf, Kally, for Fleetwood Town in March?
Half and half scarf? No, they're tin pot, mate.
A Toto Appreciation Society.
Are you going to wear a half and half Town Fleetwood shirt with Toto or NC Ireland?
Good luck to him if he's doing well.
No. I ain't doing. Listen, all that half and half shit is tin pot to fuck, right? Nah, you ain't catching me doing any of that. I'll be there, no problem, right, in the Ipswich end. But yeah.
All right, let's move it along, Mike. Appreciate you coming on. Lots of love to you. That sky is blue, though. I promise you that. Right, Monday, Mike was on the show with George and Ben. They spoke about Sam Morsey and Lee Evans. I just want to refresh our minds about what they said. I'm going to ask you both, Evans, Morsey, is the midfield position now somewhere Ashton and the dashboard should be looking?
I feel the same for Morsey.
What his best position is.
I feel the same for Morsey. There's a lot of love for Morsey, but for me, biggest letdown of the season. Controversial, but from what was said, he would bring to what he brings. That's not to say he's not good. A bit like what you're saying about Chaplin, but I think compared to what we thought he might be. I would even argue we've actually got the wrong captain. I think it needs to be Edmondson all day long. That you watch the players around him, they all look to him. They never look at Morsey, and that's quite telling, I think.
Well, I haven't been blown away with Morsey, but he's had good games, but he's had some shockers as well. So for me, look, he's had an average season. But Evans, I've not been blown away with Evans at all. Some of his he can put some brilliant passes in, but then it's like. We're left wide open in the midfield sometimes.
Yeah, you're right about Evans. He can play an outstanding, sublime pass, but he does it once, and then you might as well take him off, even if he does it in the first minute. Once he's done it, he's done. It feels like, and that's frustrating. But
that could be why we're looking at
him to play his pass. I wait for him to play his pass, and then that's okay. Well, thanks for coming, Lee. Then we're done.
That is great. That's great.
Mark Tuxford, unfair on Morsey, but Evans needs to replace. Kally, I was watching you through that clip. You were shaking your head violently. You disagreed all the way. Talk to us. What you've heard the boys there. What do you think?
I just think it's no disrespect, right? So with respect to Ben and Mike,
Fuck it, lay that wood, son. Come on.
well, you're chatting shit, right? Let's
it,
say it
man.
as it is. You're chatting shit, and with respect, you're talking to two of the guys that hardly go to any of the games, right? There's only so much you see on iFollow. There's only so much you can see on iFollow. That comment,
It'll come back.
no,
Don't say
look,
that
no,
stuff.
fuck that. I'm laying it out here, right? Sam Country from the Black Country. I've got his back here, right? Nah, people do look to him, right? So that comment about you seeing people aren't looking, everyone looks to him. He leads that team. If we concede a goal, if there's been a mistake, or if we're trying to do something, he builds that. You look over the last couple of games, he's running at defenses. He's got assists. He's assisting people. He's driving with the ball, right? He's become a bit more, I don't know if he's been told to play with a bit more freedom under McKenna or whatever, but apart from maybe the Accrington game, away after well, a shit show, I was up there as well. I can't think of a game where Morsey's had a terrible game. Yes, he's captain. Yes, he's in a role, and nah, that's just bullshit. I'm sorry. Just the comments there about he's not a captain. It's Crunch's spot on there as well. Just because Edmonton's a good player, he's not a captain. Edmonton looks to people. Edmonton's still young. Let him worry about the words to Valerie, right, and defending, right? Let him worry about that, right, and Coffee Club and all the rest of the shit, right? Let the grown folk do the captain stuff. Morsey's here. He's your captain, right? Put a bit of respect on his name, man. Like that Ben's comment. Sorry, I like Ben, but you're chatting shit, mate. You can clearly tell that you ain't seen half of the games, if that's what you're saying. You might have seen 1 or 2 games. A lot of time for you, Ben, but you chat shit. Morsey's the king, right? He's our best central midfielder I've seen in a long time. He's a captain that leads by example as well. When's the last time, apart from...
Biased, are you, Kally? You're not, you know, having already said you got his back. You know,
yeah, of course I'm gonna go back for him, but I'm being fair as well. Look, I did say he had a poor game against Accrington, right? And you know, even at the Bolton game, we were talking after the Bolton game, and it was just like, again, it's like we were slow in possession, we're slow in things. So I don't know. I don't think there's I don't think you can turn around and say he's not a good captain. I don't think you can turn around and say he's not a good player. The Evans piece, I get Evans has dipped in and out. But again, I don't think Evans has been totally poor. Like I saw the mixed reviews he had on Saturday.
He's pedestrian.
But that's what that. Yeah, he runs at one certain pace, right? But he's the ping king, right? He will pick a good pass. I do kind of agree with what Nunny was saying there about he's got one good pass.
He makes SEO Trot look fast at times. Let's be honest.
But it don't matter. You ain't necessarily got to do it because this is the guy that scored the perfect hat trick. So he's got credit. He's got credit in the bank, right? He's got credit in the bank, and that's what it's about, right? The same reason we let off Edmondson for that slip, right? Not the slip, the horrific back pass, right? And all around horrific game against Bolton. He was shit. He was probably him and Penny were probably our worst players on the pitch against Bolton. We let people like Edmondson off because they've got credit in the bank. That's what it is, right? I think Evans, he's got credit in the bank. Leave him for, lay off him. He's probably a bit of a confidence player as well. But I think Morsey as well, he's the king. He leads by example, perfect captain. Anyone chats shit about him, I want to have a word with him.
All right. Well, we've heard from his friends. Let's hear from a non-biased source. Alex, what do you think about the situation? And then we're going to bring in Talking Town skipper.
Put Josh Russell's comment up.
Agreed, Kally. Morsey's the best CM we've had for years.
There you go. He knows his stuff.
Go on, Alex.
You'll see from my team when we put the best 11s up that I've gone a little bit left field when it comes to midfield. I do like Morsey. I think some of that criticism he got on Monday is unfounded. You can see that he's got a relationship with McKenna. From the coming up at the Gillingham game. And I think he's done more good than he has bad. And, it takes time to grow into a captain's role. So let's just kind of give him that. For me, what I've seen of Edmund, I've seen more bad than good. So I think, possibly maybe a confidence player, but let's take him out. Let's try something else. That is probably the midfield is one of the positions where we probably are blessed with an overabundance of resources. Let's try something else there for me.
So you wouldn't necessarily be looking outside the building. You'd be looking to see what we've still got. I mean, you've got Player of the Year, Akeem Harper, still not able to get on the grass, crying out loud.
Yeah,
that's Kally. Player of
And
the year sat there just
I'd-
not getting a minute.
Sorry, Alex, carry on. I was going to say
And-
I would love him and a Morsey in a
Yeah.
game. In the
Yeah.
Morsey, that would be.
Yep, I was going to say that.
Power the lot.
Can I just
That-
sorry to interrupt you again, Alex? Just
Go
to
for
pick
it,
up
mate.
that point that Fisherman's got on the screen. Fisherman, the reason you haven't seen enough of Morsey is because you ain't seen any fucking games. Get to Portman Road. Stop looking through iFollow. Those Tuesday night games. I know you work and all the rest of it, and I respect that. But then if you're not there, stay out of the conversation.
Ooh,
That's what I'm going to say.
I mean, that's a good point of bringing our Talking Town skipper. Here he is in the Colin Plum dressing gown.
How you doing, Chris?
Looking good, man. Looking good. Talk to me.
Poor old Fisherman. He's getting a battering, isn't he? We love the Fisherman getting battered, Kally, don't we, mate?
We love bad fish. We love bad fish.
Listen, George Edmondson is probably he'll be in the running for Player of the Year, but that doesn't make him captain material, Martin. Just because he's a good player,
No,
you know. Sam Morsey's a leader. He's been skipper at Chesterfield. He's been skipper at Wigan, skipper at Town. That's not just by luck, is it? That he's captain.
This is it.
So it's nonsense to say that he shouldn't be captain of Town.
And he's got promotions under those captaincies as well.
Exactly.
And it's quite clear to see McKenna and Morsey are striking up a relationship. You know, the captain managerial relationship that they have, particularly after Gillingham.
You like that at Gillingham, didn't you, Martin, when they were walking down after the away game, just after the full-time whistle chatting. But I think sometimes, Kally, our fans, we just moan just for moaning's sake, you know. And if it's not broken, you know, I just don't get it.
80 Croucher, fish.
Be careful, Crunch.
Everywhere he goes.
Be careful, Crunch, or there might be a lawyer involved.
Easy now, fellas. Greg Fenton, it's not difficult to work out that our best players have played at a higher level. Sorry, hang on, Rich. It's worth remembering many of our players are only League One quality. Would you stick with Evans, or would you be tempted to go into the market or look within for a midfield player, Crunch?
Not at the minute. Not at the minute. I'll probably stick with what we've got. You know, we've got Scott Fraser down there. You've got Tom Carroll down there. You've got El Mazzuni down there. Any of them you could pick, Martin. But are any of them really good enough? I don't know. Scott Fraser can't even get on the bench. Look, you've got Raheem Harper, like you say.
Player of the Year.
Well, if he actually gets on the pitch. But I don't think...
Oh. Sorry, I was just reading Fisherman's comment.
Who lost his head over the Bolton loss?
I think he means you.
Was I losing my head? No.
I don't think so.
Where's your head at?
Didn't lose my head. I just said there's been too many Bolton-type performances this season, and that's the reason why we're sitting 11th in the table.
But surely those performances come as a result of our midfield not being good enough, and that starts with, for all intents and purposes, Lee Evans for me.
Yeah, but then, like we said, we're going back over old ground here, Martin. We've made 2 mistakes there on Saturday. We'd have come out of a 0-0 draw. We probably wouldn't have been happy, but it's another point, another clean sheet, and away we go. You know, I'm not a massive fan of Lee Evans, but I think he's probably a steady player in League One.
He likes you.
Well, he's blocked me, Kally. I don't know why. I've got no idea. I've got no idea whatsoever. I think because I might have said something about all them Hollywood passes he was playing, but look, it proves that they watched, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Anyway, all right.
I'll find out.
Crunch, appreciate you coming on. Enjoy your Friday.
See you Friday.
See you Friday. Right. On to the weekend. Accrington Stanley is our opponents. We've got some player connections. Bring Colin in for this bit. Colin, how you doing?
Hello, Carl. How are you, mate?
How are you doing, Cole?
Kally.
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Right,
Let's first of all get your reaction on Christian Walton very quickly. Christian Walton, what are you thinking? You've seen many goalkeepers, some good ones, some bad ones. What are your thoughts on that, first of all?
But probably more bad ones just recently. But no, please, he's signed, obviously, Gov. I'm not going to go all over what's been said because I think what's been said has been more or less spot on. And I'm just going along. I'm just going along with the fact that Walton is a very good goalkeeper at this level, and we've got an adequate backup. in Halaki, and hopefully he'll stay till the end of the season. And we'll leave it at that, Cup.
Okay, all right. Well, on to the weekend then. Accrington Stanley coming to town. Player connections, first of all. I'm going to give you a couple of clues. I want you to tell me who you think this player is, all right? We'll go with you first, Alex. We have got, this is all according to Wikipedia. My middle name is Pastel. I've scored, according to Wikipedia, 58 senior goals. And he has played for Accrington Stanley. Who are they exactly? And Ipswich Town.
Caden Jackson.
Correct. 3 points in the bank. Well done. Kally. My middle name is Robert. I've played for 2 international countries. I've played for Fulham, Scunthorpe, and Accrington Stanley.
Ain't Nolo, is it? Or not JD? I don't know.
Colin, any ideas?
Say it again, Gov, please.
I will say it again. Of
Are
course
they current Ipswich player?
Player connections. Played for both Stanley and Ipswich. My middle name is Robert. I've played for 2 international countries, and I've played for Fulham, Scunthorpe, and Accrington Stanley. There's a big clue in the coffee episode recently. He did say it.
Oh,
Burgess.
Cameron Burgess, Scotland and Australia, said he couldn't play for both. Do you remember him saying that, Alex?
Yeah. Boring Burgess.
Boring
Burgess, apparently.
And Colin, I've got the last one for you. My middle name is Denzel. I've played for Wickham, Luton, and Newport.
I know this one.
That's why I didn't give it to you. My middle name is Denzel. I have played for Luton, Newport, and Wickham.
And signed for Ipswich for 750k.
Following a loan spell.
And a permit.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
It's Janoy Danasi.
Oh, JD, yeah. Sorry.
Janoy Danasi.
Yeah,
Do not forget to hit
JD,
that like button. Right. 18,500 tickets have been sold. It's going to be another bumper crowd. What are we expecting from this weekend? Alex, I'll ask you first. What are you expecting from this weekend as Stanley come to town? Always a tough opponent of ours.
Yeah. I think we'll be back on it personally. I think you'll see a reaction. I think Stanley got something about him. I'm going to go win 2-1.
Win 2-1. Okay. Kally, Stanley are a team that have often bullied us. Really bullied us. We've not been able to deal with them whatsoever. Are you fearful? Are you worried that again they're going to rock up?
Nah. Listen, when and we talked about it in terms of the draws and the losses and all that. We had that whole gelling period, right, and the team getting to know each other. They played us. Okay, I think it was they were our 10th game, and we just beat. We just beat Doncaster 6-0 or whatever. And then fucking lost. Was it 1-0 or 2-1 up there? 2-0 up there? I can't remember now. But we lost up there. Bit inconsistent. We never do well out over there. But I think last year didn't we batter them 4-1 at home? Right. So
yes, I think we did. Yes.
And the season before that, I'm sure we beat them at home as well. So now I ain't fearing them at home. Not at all. Right. You've got. I think we'll see Bon and Norwood score again together. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a similar game like Gillingham, to be honest. 4-0. Yeah, but who are they against, though? It doesn't tell you who it's against.
That doesn't include the recent fixture this season. So it's the previous 5 before then.
Oh, so against us. Okay.
We've turned the corner. Well, we looked to have turned the corner, Colin, until recently, obviously. But I don't know, for some reason, I'm getting Watford vibes from Accrington Stanley. Just a side that always plays us really hard, and we always have to really dig in deep to get anything from. They never give you an easy game, do they, Stanley?
No, absolutely true there. I'm a bit like Kally. I think home form, I think the decent sized crowd, I think will all play in our favour. I said 3-0 the other day. I'm going to stick with 3-0 go.
3-0. I love that. We've got 125 people watching on YouTube right now. We've only got 61 likes. We're 110 away. 90 away from our target. Get smashing that like button. If anything, just to save you some mental arithmetic, for crying out loud. This is why I don't run a football team, Kally.
Coming back to your Aki thing, though, I just remembered that. Remember Sam's comments after the loss, and he was spot on. He goes, "They were like a horrible team, like a non-league team," and that's we undercooked. We were too tippy tappy. We were trying to, you know. It was almost frustrations of remember when Arsenal were really brilliant and they used to try and pass the ball into the back of the net. Obviously, we weren't
100%.
at that level, but with the League One equivalent is what it felt like. Now it seems like we are lumping it along. We are changing things in game. Like I was a massive Cook fan, but McKenna seems to, he's certainly a very good coach, right?
100%.
Whether or not he's a good manager, time will tell. I don't want to get carried away. I'm certainly not singing McKenna's Barmy Army just yet. But I'll back him, and I think Aki he will have the knowledge in his coaching tool set, right, to beat Accrington Stanley. They are like a non-league team. They're a tin pot team, and we shouldn't be losing against them. It's embarrassing when we do lose against these clubs. They got a bloody stadium. They got a way end with no bloody roof. They got a fucking tin pot. I think it's like 6 rows in there.
They only pay for anything when we buy a player off them, Kally. Let's be honest. They see town coming and they go, right, what's next on the renovation list?
Well, that's it. Colby Bishop will be coming in the summer watch.
Not a bad
and they'll get a roof. They'll get a roof in the thing.
Go on, Cole.
Again, Colby Bishop, non-league player. They picked him up from Leamington.
Good player.
Right, so they recruit. That's what they know, right? We are Ipswich Town. Forget our history, forget all this, and I know Colin will talk all about, and he can tell us, he tells us about the wonderful times under Bobby and all the rest of the things. Yeah, I've run out of drink actually, right? But Ipswich Town as we are now, we're still a good League One squad. We should be finishing top 2. We won't. Top 2 seems very unachievable, and I'm saying that. But top 6 is there. Top 6 is there. We can do it.
Kally, sorry to cut in there, mate, but underlining what you said, really, I was speaking to Rich today, and I had the East Anglian right in front of me, and had the league table and that, and I hadn't actually realised until I was looking at it, speaking to Rich at lunchtime, that they're actually above us. It's unbelievable. Wait a minute, Kally. At this stage of the season, Cal, it's unbelievable to me. Rich is absolutely right, and I'm getting what Rich keeps saying to me. You've got to start realising we're a Division 1 side. And of course, I realise we're a Division 1 side. We've got Division 1 players. Some of them are Championship players for me, but more than most are, top end First Division players. But when I looked at that league table today, Gov and Alex and Cal, it really hit home to me that we're playing a team on Saturday at the great home that is Portman Road, and they'll come to our place on Saturday like they always do. Think, oh God, this is nearly as good as playing at Wembley, kind of thing. And we're actually playing them. We're below them, Kally.
Yeah, but this I just want to pick that point up because that's a good point. But those first 10 games, that's why we are below them, right?
100%, Kally.
If we'd have got a point from any of those couple of 10 games that we got losses in or whatever, we'd have, we'd be definitely top 6 and we'd be knocking on the door of the top 2. So whilst, yes, they are above us, but current form and everything like that, we're more than capable of dealing with Accrington Stanley. They're only, I think they're only 1 point above us because at half time, if we'd have drawn the game at Bolton, we'd have finished above them because we've got better goal difference anyway. They're on a minus goal difference anyway. They leak goals. They're just a horrible, nasty, non-league playing type of club, right? That's what they are. They play to their strengths. Kick the shit out of people, kick lumps out of people. That's what they'll do. Lump it long. McCarthy would be the best manager for them, right? He'll probably end up in there a couple of years. Who knows? But we've got enough, and McKenna's got enough to do. To have us up there. What's the table saying? Look, there you go. Look.
But Alex, Kally says some wonderful points there. But I would have said the exact same thing this time last week about Bolton and having enough and being good enough. And Accrington Stanley, they might be non-league setup, foundation, whatever it is you see them to be, but they're a decent side at this level that have won 10 games, and always punch well above their weight. And as Mike D said in the chat, we're a sort of side that would beat Accrington Stanley, then go and lose to Wednesday, or vice versa, even get beat by Stanley, then go and turn Wednesday over at Hillsborough. It's crazy.
I've said it more times than I care to count. Over this year, we're not gonna. Before we start running before we can walk, what we need to do is have some consistency, and we can go and beat Aki and Wimbledon, and we can only beat what's in front of us. And the way you do that is that you show the team respect, whether they be Accrington Stanley or whether they be Morecambe or Cheltenham.
Yeah,
you show them respect. You play your game. You do what you've been told to do. You prepare properly.
Yeah,
and I think we've actually now got a manager now that can do that. And you see the fact that he's willing to change stuff in games by the fact that he had the iPad out on Saturday. Yeah, it's not always going to work, but he's at least willing to try something.
Yeah,
no, and it was good to see, because actually when we're watching the game in the stands, right, and we're behind 1 goal, and you're like, nah, we're getting pinned back all the time. Let's, a Cook 4-2-3-1 is what we kind of need here. Let's see how that works out. Yeah. And when Selena come on, it offered something a bit different and everything, and it did make a difference. It was we've given the goals away,
Yeah.
And that was one thing, Kally, that yourself and especially Crunch and 1 or 2 other people got exactly spot on all this season about that first 6, 7, 8 games, whatever it was, has not cost us, but has made it so much more difficult. And
it has.
One of the biggest highlights for me was one of the away games that I was at, and so was Kally, at Cheltenham. I always use that as the biggest yardstick, because we went down there possibly as a club and as fans and everybody expecting them just to roll over, and we'd go down there, and we'd win 3 or 4-0. Thank you very much, and go home. We was 1-0 up, should have been 2-0 up after about 12 minutes. And then the second half come and it all turned round. And we should have, I know it was a different manager at the time, but we should have took so much from that game and highlighted that into up and coming games after that. But did we? No, we didn't. And Richard and Kally and other people are totally right. We've been playing catch up ever since.
And the thing is like, that's a good example to use, right? Where we lost against them. But again, Bond scores that goal, we go in 2-0 up by half time, and it's a different type of game, right?
Absolutely.
It's these fine margins. And apart from where we got pumped 5-2 at Bolton, which I wasn't at that game, fortunately, right? Even that game, we had spells. When I watched it back on iFollow, but it's not the same. But when I looked it back and I said, we managed to get 2 goals and we had a decent spell in there. If anyone can tell me, I can't think of a time that we've been pumped or really battered by a team this season.
No.
Right, we've gone toe to toe with everyone. Well, that was it. And whether it's McKenna or whether it's Cook, we're still beating the top teams. Right? McKenna beat Wickham, right? Wickham, who were up there, needed the win. Cookie battered Wickham and Portsmouth and stuff like that as well. So it's we are more than capable. Even when Sheffield Wednesday, who I thought they were the big one,
don't do enough this year. Let's look at your 11, shall we? You've gone for...
Oh, you've actually put that one in, not the...
This is your 11. So Hladky in goal, Burns, JD, Wolfie, Edmondson, Edwards, Morsey, Evans, Aluko, Bond, and no, I'm glad Mike's not here. Edwards at left back, Kally. That's a wild card.
It's a left wing back, and when we've seen Edwards this season, and we've seen him play on the left wing or whatever under Cookie, he does track back well. He does defend well.
He does.
Now, I'm seeing Matt Penny, and yes, Matt Penny's got slightly better since he's gone in as a wing back, and we knew that from when your pal from the Sheffield podcast came on, said he's a wing back, not a left back.
Yeah.
But he's still you talked about Evans being slow. My God, Penny, it's the amount of time it takes him to to pass a ball. I could have skinned up in that time, right? And it's just like he takes forever. He gets closed down, right, all the time, all the fucking time, right? And it's frustrating. That is. Edwards, he ain't gonna do that. Edwards just bomb down. Edwards will be like, remember what it was like when Carlos Edwards towards the end of his career?
Oh, what a player!
I think we got that with Edwards on the left wing, right? Put him left wing back. Give him a chance because I don't think he's any worse than Penny. He's certainly as good as a defender as Matt Penny, right? From what I'd seen, I don't think Penny's an outstanding defender, and he's a better attacking player than Penny. So let's do it. I think you got the three there in terms of you got Fridge, you got Wolfie, and you got JD. I'm more than confident that those three can deal with the attacking threat that's going to come in. Let Edwards bomb down. Let's fucking damage this team. Let's hit him from the beginning. Let's get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever nil. Fucking send them back to League 2 and get them relegated and get them to non-league again. Right? I've been hurt by Accrington too many times. It's a shithole to go to, and I've never seen us win there. So no, I hate them.
Love that aggressiveness. That is brilliant. Colin, rate Kally's team there. Do you like it? Do you want to see it? Do you feel Edwards is a risk at left wing back? What do you think?
Well, if you're thinking about like Kally quite rightly says, if you're thinking about attacking the game, so to speak, and really going for the jugular kind of thing, I'd agree with that. You know, obviously, you know, I mean, I can't see that. Obviously, I was thinking about more on the defensive side of it, but Penny for me. You know, look, I'm going to be fair to Penny because I was one of his worst critics.
Get off that
really.
fence, Colin. It's sore.
No. Leave me. I'm always honest. You know that. I'm one of his greatest critics, but since he'd been wing back, he'd been playing a little bit better. If I'm fair to him, but defensively, oh God, he leaves a lot to be desired. You know. So at home, especially, I wouldn't be anti what Kally's gone for. To be fair, especially when you're at home, attacking the game. You know.
Let's bring in Jeremy, who's just popped up towards the bottom of the screen. Jeremy, how you doing? You all right?
Got my t-shirt on.
Beautiful, Jeremy. It's looking fantastic on you. Thank you for your
support.
Go on,
Jeremy.
Absolutely, Jeremy. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Are you going to the game?
I am. Good
man. Coffee's on you. No, I'm joking. How do you feel? You've heard Kally's impassioned speech there.
Tim Hortons.
I must admit, on you. Sorry, Kally, but please watch your language.
Yeah, watch your language, Kally. Do you feel we're going to go there?
It is after 9 o'clock.
It is. And it's Talking Town.
Okay.
The host.
Oh, dear.
That one, Kally.
Do you think we're going to win this Saturday, Jeremy?
2-1. 2-1 Town.
All right, stay there. You can rate Alex's team. Alex, talk us through your 11. You've got Walton, JD, Wolfenden, Edmondson, Penny, Harper. Harper, yes. Morsey, Burns, Chaplin, Bond, and Norwood. First of all, what formation is that?
Yeah, I'm confused.
It's going to be. This is my first time using lineup 11, so it's going to be 3-5-2.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Just need a few points to know it's a 3-5-2. So. I suppose the big talking point out of that one before we ask Jeremy to rate it and tell us his thoughts is Harper, Alex. Talk to us about Raheem Harper in there. I know why you've done it. Why have you done it?
Yeah, you know, in the sense of it, the two we've not seen, what I'd quite like to see is potentially see if Morsey can be the holder and then just see what it... Because, you know, we've seen glimpses of when Raheem Harper goes and they've got that freedom to go and create what he can do. So, and we know that, yes, Morsey's improved since he's been given more, well, not improved, but yet he's, you know, come into games since he's been given that free role to push forward. But he's also proven that he can be that one to sit and stay, you know. And if you look at the combination that we haven't tried Morsey and Harper for an extended period of time. You know, the only way that, you know, we're going to see what kind of player Harper is to give him, is to give him time. You know, you know, we say about, you know, Piggott not being given opportunity. If we're putting Piggott in that bucket, you can put Harper in that bucket as well.
100%. 100%. Jeremy, what do you think about that? Sam Morsey as the holder, Raheem Harper as the playmaker. Would you be all over that Saturday?
A little bit.
Yes. Harper, I'm not too keen on though.
Why?
Every
Player of the year in
time
the
I've
waiting.
seen him, he's had a bad game.
Oh, I don't know about that. Kally, every time Jeremy's seen Harper, is it a bad game? What do you think?
No, I disagree.
Well, that's no fucking surprise, is it?
Sorry,
That's
just
why
answer
I
that
asked you.
I'm not against that formation at all. What Alex has put up there, I think it's a really good team. It's the same team. He's just, you got Chaplin and Harper in. Harper is a good player, and this is where we see what type of manager McKenna is. Is he soundbite manager, or is he actually going to back his chat up? Right? He's talking the talk. Is he going to walk the walk? He talked about making in-game changes. He talks about approaching game by game. For me as a manager, if I'm approaching a game by game, you like to your Gillinghams, your Accrington, who, by the way, Ashley Bell, I think they're shit in their tin pot. But he just asked what I thought of them. Right? These types of I fucking hate them. These type of teams, right? We should be attacking them. We've got the attacking threat, right? Let Raheem run at them, right? Because you will get more out of him than obviously more legs out of him than Evans, and Raheem's not adverse to a pass either. He can ping a ball as well. I think he could be. He's certainly not. Evans sits back and he dives into tackle, so he's not going to do that. So like Alex says, you'd have to swap him and Morsey around. Try it. What's the worst that could happen, right? So I would go for it, man. And sorry, what did Matt say? Matt Stannard? Yeah, no problem, mate. I'll bring him. You just send me you send me what you need. We'll do a Tim Hortons run on the way down to the game.
Good man. Looking forward to my Tim Hortons coffee.
We'll have our own coffee. It'll be our own coffee club, right?
Love it. Lee Brown says Harper will be better holding your microphone Saturday, Martin.
Nah, look, come on, man. People are just they're hating on the lad,
Martin. No one's called me Martin for ages. So I was almost like, oh,
it's like getting told off, isn't it?
Yeah, what have I done wrong? Right, we're going to end it there, I think. What a way to end it. Alex, I love that team. Raheem Harper, I'm telling you. Once he starts playing, go on, Jeremy.
Just quickly, news about Defoe. Do you think we'll ever get him, or just for the rest of the season, or?
Well, as we were saying at the start of the show, Joe, and there was a link this morning that came out that was quickly sort of squashed, if you like, by a report I saw on TWTD. As far as I know, as far as I know, as much as you know, he's not here, and I don't think he's going to be here. Would you take him? Jeremy? What do you think?
If it's for just till the end of the season, it'd be nice to have a different option up front.
Well, you've got Joe Pigott.
What option does he offer? Because he's a finisher, right? And he ain't getting ahead of. I know he's quality, but if a striker's in a hot vein of form, you'd be mad to bench Norwood at the moment, right? You'd be absolutely mad to take him off.
Yes.
Right. Macca's also is finding the net again as well. Where does he get in? And you remember Pigott's our player. We've signed him to a long-term contract. This is it. So I think Defoe will know that if there has been any interest, Defoe will know he's not going to be here as a number one. I think he'll end up at Sunderland. He's back there before. They want him. They've got the money for him as well. I think he can do a job at League One. I'm not saying he can't. He just, where does he fit into our team?
I agree.
Right. If he was a midfielder, then fair enough.
I'll give Raheem Harper a chance on Saturday. See what he's like, then I'll get back
if he's in the
on
squad.
him.
Well, he probably won't be in the squad because sadly, and I mean this genuinely, Alex at Lionel Von Rock does not pick the team, because if he did, we might be higher.
But his biggest fan is a guy called McKenna, so I don't know.
Listen, as the title of this show says, we go again, and we'll go again on Friday. We'll bring you the weekend's first show, Friday night, 8:30. Myself, Matt, Rich, looking at McKenna's press conference. But until then, he has been the wonderful Jeremy, wearing the fantastic merchandise. He has been the GOAT, true legend of the game. He is King Kally Bisner. He's the new boy on the block, Lionel Von Rock. Lionel, Alex Wilson. I want to call you Alex Smith for some reason. Which is a quarterback in NFL. I say Alex.
Oh, don't talk about rugby ball when you're on a podcast about proper football. God.
Right.
And sorry, just Matt Stannard, Tim Hortons, forget your Starbucks, forget your honey and whatever they called it or whatever. Tim Hortons is the one. I'm telling you, best coffee, right? It's
and as they're new to town, if you want to sponsor a show that in December got nearly 58,000 views, hit me up. I'm available.
Tim Hortons.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning